Good. Alright. Welcome back to Nick Comic Corner Classic List Known Classic. This is episode number 31. 87, Doubleshot 3081. Basically, we have a Marvel trade and we have an IDW trade. First of which we have is The Punisher by Garth Ennis, the Complete Collection, Book 1. This book collects the Punisher Volume 4, which was 12 issues, Punisher Volume 5, the first 5 issues of that book, along with The Punisher Kills Marvel Universe one-shot. This one-shot's here purely because Garth Ennis wrote it. What's a one-shot? It's basically Punisher killing the Marvel Universe because he thinks the era is useless, so he kills all the superheroes, so he gets tricked too, and then he kills himself, ending the issue. By the way, this awesome cover here, that's Tom Broadstreet. Excellent artist, by the way. Yeah, so the Marvel Knights era. Basically, we have Garth Ennis, like I said, basically to include the writing duties of this book. Artwork is done by Steve Dillon. The inking is done by Jim Palmiotti. I bring it up because, well, he used to be inker. Doug Brothery basically does the artwork for the book. Also, Joe Quesada. The editors, two of the editors of the book are Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. Yes, doing double duty here. So, in the Welcome Back Frankenstein, which I discussed already, but I'll happily discuss it again. We have this amazing artwork here by Steve Dillon. So, in this very book, Punisher is back. Yes, the previous Punisher book was released prior to this one, which was called Punisher Purgatory. This book deemed the book not canon. Purely because basically it didn't fit Punisher. So Quesada is like, nope, not canon. This is the true book right after Punisher Volume 3. Well, after his sporadic appearance he made between Volume 3 and this book, the Purgatory book is not canon. Never happened. So basically he kills two gangster guys, gets on the phone, and he's like, I have to go, Mike. He left Punisher behind and he proceeds to Punisher kills him. He just finishes talking to the guy. And then we're introduced to a few new characters in this book, of 3 supporting characters. First up is Blacker Dave, who is a guy with piercings. Mr. Beppo, who is this chubby guy who apparently eats too much. And then we see, after he pulls him out of the doorway because he's stuck. And then we see Joan, who it's implied she has things for him, but it's not really detailed here. He lives here as John Smith in his apartment. Like, I gotta admit, nice basically, like, then we have where a guy named basically a guy in the table is like named Eddie. So this is Eddie Nucci on the table. And apparently this guy's named Bobby Nucci. Yes, by the way, if you read this, if you played the Punisher 2005 game, you probably notice, wow, this book is like very similar to the game. That's because basically the game was adapting this very book. Except in the game, Nucci's were actually a subfamily of belonging to the Kingpin of crime, Wilson Fisk. Yes, and yes, definitely, Eddie was killed first. Actually, I think it was Bobby was killed first, and Eddie they killed him like this massive shootout in the funeral in the game. I think, yeah. So he kills him, and then the shootout. Basically, the funny scene is basically the game starts. The first thing you do, we enter the funeral scene, and you have all these gangsters mourning over the death of Eddie Nucci, and he gets up, massacres you basically massacre the whole room, and then he kill all their gangsters. Bobby, of course, is willing Kevlar. You have to basically go to the attic to kill him, and they shoot him, and then after interrogating him, he fell out a window, he gets impaled by fence spikes. That's what happens in the game. And that level is loosely adapted from this very issue here. This is issue 1. And eventually killing all these guys. This is very similar though. This is actually not as gruesome as that one. Yep, so then both, and of course there's a grenade. Yep, and after both Nucci's die, And then we have Carlo, which is, I think it's supposed to be Manucci's brother. Yes, her brother. It's like, it's amazing, like amazing view. And then the girl he brings in just leaves. And then basically she just quiet leaves, goes down the stairs. And then of course she looks to him and is like, babe? He just kind of like, baby? And like thinking like, why would she jump for it? Makes no sense. And then Punisher picks him up by the hair, bounds his hand and feet, and tapes his mouth, and then throws him on top of the building. And what building is this? The Eiffel Tower, the Empire State Building. Throws him off, and splat. Yep. And the issue ended with, "Welcome back, Frank," says New York. Oh, and also, the Twin Towers. So this was made before the events of 9/11. So, then by issue 3, we're introduced to Detective Martin Soap, the head of the Punisher Task Force, and partner, who's basically a psychiatrist who later kills himself because he can't handle the pressure. Yep. And Punisher kills people, and of course see like a crime scene. Yeah, and they're introduced to this guy here, like, you have Joan giving Frank cookies. Yes, I was right. It's the Empire State Building. How did I know it? Because I've been on the top floor of the Empire State Building with the observation tower. That's how I know. So, and he goes home and see Mr. Bibbo apparently ordered like 4 boxes of pizza. Because Mr. Bibbo love eating pizza. It's like, Dave, Spec Dave. You're in town tempting. And then we see one of Manucci's who's in the parking lot. It's like where the people are, and then Punisher kills the guy. Like Mikey. Oh crap! It's a Punisher. I love his reaction. Like, oh crap. It's like, lose the peace, Mendoza. Call your boss on the car phone. 2001, 4 cell phones. Who was told? Who is this? Me and the Punisher. I'm coming for you, Manucci. Yep. So it's like, yeah, apparently this is actually his Long Island Expressway. So then he's told to jump out, and then he gets run out by a truck. And then we're introduced to the Holy, as he refers himself as. They don't know his name is Holy. Outside, basically call himself that, but there's not much info. Like, when Punisher gets info about him, it's like, he is, for simply, the Axeman. Because he kills the guys and confesses with a freaking axe. Looks like to be a fire axe. Yeah, kills like, I am the Holy. Like, oh crap, God forgive me. He's a priest. And he prays. Oh yeah, by the way, the clean lady comes by, cleans up. Apparently she's too blind to see blood. So, Punisher basically kills some fools and he basically is riding out his battle van. Yes, so then he proceeds to take out a frickin' flamethrower. Because, you know, he's ex-military. Of course, he gets hands his equipment. Burns all these gangsters. And, like, blowing stuff up, of course. And then after basically doing the whole thing, like, punish it. And then eventually, like... Yeah, and then, like, oh, yeah. Apparently, it's, like, definitely... She thinks the blood is commuting wine. Cleans Tuesdays, clean day. Yeah, but today's Friday. Today's Friday, what? Yeah, apparently she's hard of hearing, so she goes and cleans it. Yep. Yeah, Spec a Day basically puts a magnet. And Joan asks me, the cookies? Yes, Joan, I like the cookies. Yep, and then Daredevil shows up. I think this was the only time Garth Ennis ever wrote him. So then, of course, he and Punisher get a chance to a fight, which, of course, then he knocks him next to some special sonic device he basically planted nearby, and then proceeds to chain him up with a gun in his hand. Yep, and it doesn't stop him from killing somebody. He try to basically, I think that Steve Dillon tried to recreate that famous cover of Daredevil by Frank Miller with Daredevil with a gun, which is used. So then basically Punisher does not really kill the person, and eventually Punisher get knocked out by bits and I punch him. He's like, yeah, this priest like want to confess. He's like, you know what's up, Fa? You want to hurry up a little? I got some real bad sins. I want some confessing. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, of course, my son, for I am the holy. And then we have like, okay, so, by the way, the Punisher Task Force is treated as a joke by the police department. And then we have Punisher in a shootout in Central Park of all places. Yes, and Manucci's like, he killed my son to kill my brother. I want his head. And they go into Central Park Zoo, which, yes, this was a level in the game where in the game, basically, there's a famous photo here. They actually pull as basically a press release, like, oh yeah. And of course, you call it Killer because it's treated as a joke. Because apparently, this Bud Pug, apparently that's the guy's name, so he killed himself by hanging himself with his own tie. Yep, and then basically we have... Now this looks very familiar scenery here. We have Punisher killing a guy by dumping him in a pool in a tank full of piranhas. Which, yes, has happened in the game. That was Sarah. And then we have a scene... Oh yeah, we got killed by a snake. Which did not happen in the game. And then we're introduced to, while this is going on, we're introduced to Molly Rashida, I think that's the pronounced name. Molly Van Richthofen, who is actually a lesbian. Yep, she reveals this later on. And then, well, after this book wrapped up, she's not seen again in comics until Punisher Version Volume 2. As for why the long absence, by the way, that came out in 2009. This was in 2000. Why the 8-year absence? I have no idea. So we have Ma, like Punisher shot and then surrounded by polar bears. And then we have this famous panel, Punisher punching a polar bear, which this was made into an article in the video game. And the article was, Punisher makes children cry by punching a polar bear. And then Manucci, in the game this didn't happen. What happened is that the polar bears ripped off her limbs and apparently ripped off her hair, barely surviving. And Punisher, and of course the whole like, yeah, well, you had to bury this fool, and like, oh yeah, Manucci down. And of course, basically, like, yeah. And here's Manucci afterwards, yeah. She's basically quadriplegic now. So she can't move. Well, she can move her arm. She can't grab anything. And then she tells basically as her cousins act like an idiot. Then she's like, no, Mija, I want, like, it's like, you did what? Shoot my brain damaged cousin in the face. Ma'am? Are you deaf? Kill Cousin Steve. Hey now, Ma. Come on, Mrs. Nucci. You want to shoot him? Oh, of course I didn't. Silly me. I forgot my employees don't know my better than I do. Second then would. Kill first then with my idiot cousin now. Me? No, me hit. I want name the sub-married doing instead of you. Of course you. Gotta join you buddies in our lives. He was like, third then would. Kill second then with his lifelong friend and my cousin Steve. Apparently, bam, bam, bam. Yep. 10 days ago, I got fed with polar bears. Now she's barely surviving. It's like, I'm going to hit the bear on the Punisher. Oh, yep. And then you have Joe making a pie, and Mr. Beppa apparently taken out because he apparently had like canaries. He's passed up. Apparently, if I were him, I would basically stop eating. And we go Lucky's Burgers with a whole, yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Martin's in love with his own partner, but she's like, no, she's a lesbian. It's like 8 o'clock. No, it's lunchtime. It's Thursday. It's your job whenever you like. What? Yeah. Yep, so... And then we're introduced to Mr. Payback, who kills corporate stooges. Yeah, and this action present button later. And then we're introduced to the Elite, who kills 4 drug dealers in their car. And then a woman sees this and calls a freak show. He's like, the name is the Elite, ma'am. And kills her dog. And then a mugger's like, give me your red and Jew, here, pal. Catch it. And Punch just dumps the guy in a trash can. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you tried to mug the Punisher. Don't ever mess the Punisher. Yeah, and of course, basically, this guy who's Al Government basically he's repulsive. Flushed him twice. What? No, Mrs. Nucci. He came by the Punisher. Here by 10 million. He's got information. Yes. What do you want to know? What do you know? I found him, lady. He lives right across the street from me. And he explains everything. He's like, yeah. Yeah. His next Iron Man. So, whoever kills him, your information is worth 10,000. If it's accurate. Billy, man, check it out. So yeah, then I mentioned the whole thing with the. Then we have where helicopters take out with a freaking bazooka by the Elite. Yes, by Mr. Payback, who kills, well, more corporate stuff, and of course more drug dealers killed off. And then we have the mentioning of a son named Tim, who is like, I says, you hurry up because the car is on its way and the play starts 8. Be here soon. Can I have pizza? Have Shimmer? Yes. Yes. Go ahead, order pizza. Yep. Yeah, he says this while putting away his mask and his gun in the ceiling of the bathroom. Yep. So one of the 3 times, basically, Mom Nucci gets basically a phone put in her ear. And, well, and then Punisher kills more guys. Like, Kevlar. Took it, didn't notice. Yep. And then he walks to the guy who being shoot at him. He proceeds to snap his neck. And then the very next he's wounded. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. He's like, am I sure it was the Punisher? It's supposed to be funny? Soap? I think first. Yep, and apparently the cops just don't care in the way the book is written. Like, Punisher's able to go home while he's wounded. And then he just collapses in the apartment. Jones sees this and apparently broke his TV. And then we see him, like, this really cool shot here from Steve Dillon where Punisher's standing right behind her covered in blood. Oh, is it Mr. Smith? Oh, yeah, and this is when she finds out he's the Punisher. And then he like kills a hot dog vendor with a freaking grenade. Like, why in the world, basically, that he decided to blow up the vendor? I don't know. It's quite dumb. And, of course, yeah, then they contact a doctor to get the Punisher fixed up. Covers like some, but not all of it. And, of course, basically, he later on tells Jones my name is Frank. And then Mr. Payback kills, basically, the corporate guy, and then goes on a rant on TV about the corporate stuff. Yep. Punisher's like, really? Yeah, and then these guys are not the cops. Like, nope. Except look at them. Nope, not the cops. Yeah, and then of course, basically, like, he hears Dave scream because, oh yeah, get this. These gangsters decided to pose as cops, and as torture, they remove his piercings with a pair of pliers. So Punisher takes a knife, kills both of them. They pull his rings out, and eventually, yeah, Spacker Day is basically bandaged up, no problem. All thanks to a doctor who drinks whiskey. And he's able to, like, it's like, I don't. Dig away. And by the way, he's actually chewing on a bullet he took out of his gun. Which, I have heard that apparently, so according to the game, soldiers actually just take a bullet, they chew on it, they bite on it. They numb out the pain. Able to live. And then we have this guy, people called Broad Force. They're here to, in cause to kill to kill somebody. And they go in this small house, like, where is he? And, like, the windows get broken out, like, holy, he's, no, can't be. Not the face, please. It's like, oh no, please. Crawl back to your masters. Tell them, little man. Tell them my patience runs thin. Or maybe stupid him alive and the Russian will come for them. No, go! And then the guy is like, I want my mommy! I'm like, so the Punisher apparently took time to shit this guy butt naked and wrap his gun around his neck like a freaking necklace. And the other guys, let's see, he threw one guy in the fireplace, one guy in a toilet, shoved one guy's head in the wall, put axe on one guy's back. Oh yeah, and he also broke another guy, and eventually gets called like, oh, Manucci. And he goes to, well, and of course Ma basically like, and it's like, yeah, you came. Yeah. Oh, my dear sweet Russian. I lost all hope. And Mr. orders more pizzas. 5 of them this time. If I were him, I would drop the weight. Yep, and then Russian accidentally kills the guy by squeezing because he's that strong. And Spacker Day basically is like, yeah, he's gonna leave, but not yet. So then, of course, like, who's that? Don't know. Let's go after him. You insane? The lab. Oh yeah, and also we see like, yeah, but in this old lady who apparently cannot see very well, can't hear, puts this preacher's hot chocolate in the plant because she can't see very well. Lady, get yourself some glasses. They got an idea. Oh yeah, then we started gagging the book with these two, with basically Clint Eastwood movies. And then the Russian shows up at his apartment. And it's like, hello, big boy. You're the Punisher, yes? Of course you are. You look just like your picture. I'm called the Russian. Right, let's get this started. Yeah, and this whole scene of Russian beating up the Punisher, they adapted straight from the video game. And yes, he did punch him. And then we had this weird moment where this guy walks into Ma's bedroom. These machines look like to put her makeup on, put her wig on. And I'm sure that probably Steve Dillon took inspiration from Star Wars Empire State. Like, what is it, cretin? The parents to recall, man. Hold it for me closer, idiot. It's like, yes. It's the fish. Right, you're free to go. Lick my scalp. Blah! Yes, it's almost like basically that she's an older lady who just fancies a younger guy. Yeah, and of course Punisher gets beat the crap, even basically the toilets thing, which, yes, they did in the game. They did in the game too. Oh, one thing they made for the game is basically Punisher whacking his head into 3T monitors. That was made for the game. That didn't happen in the comic. And of course, being a loser is like, stop whining, you loser. And it's like, ooh, knife in the guts. That's not very nice. And of course, he'll kill somebody. And then runs Mr. Payback Rich, and then runs Mr. Holy later on. And then he hits basically like a stove. And he gets his hand caught on fire, which, yes, he can do in the game too. And of course, he shoots the guy. And like, enter round 1. Breaks his gun. Also in the game, you actually get a chance to whack his head in the refrigerator. And go straight to issue 11, where he basically whacks to a wall. Oh, by the way, in the game, he actually falls at the window and walks away. Here is basically like, yeah, he gets pee thrown on him, and he gets squashed by a fat man. And then eventually, like, eventually they form the vigilante squad. They're like, yeah. And then, of course, basically the guy with it was like reading the Bridge Medicine Canon, which is an actual book. And then I prefer cleans the movie. He kills that guy, and then eventually, like, I'll walk in. Costs a fortune when they walk in. Yeah. We're going Russian. So, yep. Let's take him down. Take him down, of course. We're on the vigilante squad. Yep. And then, of course, then it's like, what's all this shouting? And we have Manucci basically, like, where Punisher's like, you got the best you got holding the head of the Russian. Which I didn't do this in the game. In the game, he's actually arriving here in the trench coat. He shoots the place up. The place is mysteriously on fire in the game. And then Manucci, who's got her limbs intact, you basically grab her, and then you throw her out the window. Yes. Oh yeah, basically in the comic, Punisher burns down the mansion because why not? Oh, then eventually she tries to jump, and of course throws a grenade, directly with the flames, and then she proceeds to jump out somehow, bites the Punisher. Punisher grabs her and throws back in the fire, killing her. Oh yeah, and then she was cloned in the Punisher Warzone, and then she just happens to run into. He's like, well, my very own task force. Don't think stupid. What do you want? The copycats. Basically, yeah. He gets the photos, and he keeps money. Yeah. What's about for you? Arresting him or these photos? They vote the photos. And yeah, compromise position for the mayor and the commissioner. So yeah, and then eventually Punisher gets money to these three people to just go. And then eventually, like, where Molly apparently is following their girlfriend, and she's apparently running for mayor, and Soap is the commissioner of the police department. Well, that isn't until the next volume he gets demoted back to detective because of blackmail. And then eventually, like, he gets pooped on by a bird, and then eventually Punisher finds Vigilante Squad, and he kills them. And that ends basically volume 4. Moving on to volume 5. Where, like, the Punisher proceeds to... By the way, this book collected the first 5 issues of that book. He strangles somebody, say his horns, like, taking some life. Yep. Yeah, and basically, like, Soap. Yep, he's back. I was going to institute for law enforcement, fairness, compassion, and sinning, and they blackmailed me. You blackmailed him first. Did you at least be commissioner? Okay, mayor's office was stupid to have me photographed with a hooker. Yeah. So, he's right, Punish Task Force. Yep. Yeah, and she's on the book because she's on a tropical island. My guess is Garth didn't plan to bring her back anyways. And the only reason this ongoing series was greenlit because that volume 4 was financially successful. People loved it. So then they launched this book. Now, in case you're curious though, what was the time period for this book? Like, I know that volume... So, issue 1 was released in April of 2000, and then basically, like, the final issue released in March 2001. And then, for some weird reason, Marvel decided to not release next volume for... Get this. I kid you not, Marvel waited 5 months to release this volume, and it lasted for a little over 3 years. Actually, 37 issues over the course of a little over 2 years. Yes. And of course, Soap tried to kill himself because basically, like, yeah, he's feeling like a laughing stock. Like, what are you doing? And then where you live in Flow Division, like, I saw order. That's me. Also, he pees his pants. And then, of course, Punisher kills more people here. He's like, yeah, he apparently finds people in the cells, like, what do we do? And Punisher basically picks the guys up who are bruised up, like, Instead of letting him go, he proceeds to dump in the river for reasons. And we're lucky bar stuff, and then we have where he meets a random woman who seems a bit older. Yep. And then, of course, basically, Punisher goes wherever he's going, and his gun gets crushed. He takes gun gets crushed by. And his first thing he says, "I thought I cut your head off. I knew you'd be surprised." Yep, the Russian is back, and oh boy, what the heck they did to him! You remember the Russian? He's like, "I did cut your head off, only after smothering me with an enormous fat man. Not afraid fighting dirty." And then he reveals what's underneath the coat. Yeah, apparently for some weird reason, when they brought him back, they gave the body of a large woman, which he likes for some reason. And they tend to throw him off, similar to what happened in the previous line, where Punisher of a guy off the same building. And of course, that was in issue 2, this is issue 1. And then he's saved by Spider-Man! And quite possibly, I think this is the only time Garth Ennis ever wrote him. There's one issue. And then we have Russian fighting Spider-Man. It's like, let's find something behind me. Amazing Spider-Man! Or is it Spectacular? What? He's like big fan, and eventually he fights the Russian. And the first and only time he fights the Russian. Because after this, no mention of a fight with Russian ever again. Because Punisher, the Russian's not around much longer. He's like, yep. So then Soap sleeps with the woman he met at the bar. This old woman, I think she's about 40-ish. And apparently she's not interested. She's just smoking after they basically did. Like, yep. And then eventually, like, Russian's like, yeah. It's like, I think it's a phone call. He's like, and Spider-Man comes back. And then still trying to hurt him, but nope, doesn't stop him. And then for some reason, I'm not sure why, Punisher uses Spider-Man as a human shield. He gets punched like, oh, you got? He gets punched up so bad, it's like, say, big boy. And then he proceeds to take Spider-Man's webbing, form the fist he's overusing, and squirt webbing in Russian's mouth. He falls the building. Also, he gets his head squished into the new body. What happened? We had a team up. You were great. Despite the fact it was one-sided. And the Punisher just happened to run into, and then Soap ran into the Punisher. Cops. Yep. So, the whole thing, and then eventually, like, yeah, like, dirty cops, like, yeah. Let's make good cops. Yep. He doesn't. He just tortured him. Ahead. So then eventually go to Grand Next Now, and oh boy, this took like 3 or 4 levels in the game. And by the way, in the game, this was hard. Yes, because they adapted also this for the game too. General Kreekhoff. Yes. And the man is insane. He thinks he can establish war on Grand Next Now. Which also, yes, he does get a lift out there. Which in the game, he throws the guy out the window, which he does here too. And Roger gets fixed up while 2 guys stand in front of his female body. And just by sheer funny coincidence, the 2 guys happen to stand in front of the breast. The guy crashes down, and it seems like he's about to... Punisher's about to, like, grab beers, like, million jokes. And Punisher's about to grab him, and then eventually they're confronted by the military on the island, which apparently they bring him in. Punisher shoots him up, and goes exploring Grand Next Now. Which in the game, yes, you actually have to kill people. Like, one of them you have to basically, in the game, you have to lift the guy up and basically shred his head in a fan. A big metal fan, mind you. In their barracks. Punisher kills a lot of people here. Oh, by the way, Grand Next Now is blown up. people were killed because of a humongous bomb that... Oh yeah, by the way, the Russians killed off. He also wears a shirt that says Brittany on it. And the Russians killed off by the end of this. Like in the game, basically he's killed off by the bomb. Punisher just damaged Russian more. Eventually he's able to... They drop the bomb on Granic Stone. And then Russians toss over the two. And everybody else dies. Yeah, and of course the guy is like arrested, like French hero pro to the general. Yep. After talking with this weird guy here, gives him like a bullet. Yeah, who is this guy talking to? Apparently he was talking to the president somehow. Or at least, not the president, more like somebody in DC. So basically flew to DC afterwards. So that's pretty much this book in a nutshell. I enjoyed this book. Give the book roughly a 9 out of 10. Really good book. And, well, I know why basically the remaining issues. Because for some reason, because Ennis did not do... Garth Ennis did not do issues 8 through 12. They're not collecting these trades. So I do them separately, okay? Next up we have is The Rocketeer Adventures Volume 2, which collects the second volume for The Rocketeer Adventures, which is only 4 issues. It's like The Rocketeer 1 through 4, The Rocketeer, and Rocketeer Adventures. Well, just 4 issues. Written by the covers by Darwin Cook. Let's see. They don't say who the writer is on here. Not really. They don't say it. And basically, this is a lot more stuff with the Rocketeer. Well, basically, very similar like Mark Guggenheim. Basically, it's like recapping the a little bit of the first appearance of the Rocketeer from the early stories. That's kind of what this book is. And second issue is by Pierre David. Just more of like more Rocketeer, so like Ducketeer, which is kind of funny. And issue 3 is done by Stan Sakai, the creator of Usagi Yojimbo. Yeah, he does an issue here. He does the art, writing, and the lettering. All him. Which I found it quite interesting. These are all a series of one issues. They have the romance issue here done by Tom Taylor. Art by Colin Wilson. It is basically like Cliff basically like doing some participation in World War II. And issue 5 is done by Paul Dini. Art by Bill Morrison. Betty's Big Break. Yep, because she's an actress, of course. And they call her a knockout because she is. Yep, and then, like, oh yeah. Then we have Autograph, written by Walt Simonson. Art by John Paul Lennon. Which is all about an autograph with Rocketeer. With more fun Rocketeer, like saving Betty. And then eventually by issue number... Also, at one point you see Betty with shirt on. Almost looks like she's topless here. But nope, she got a shirt on. And then in issue number 7, it's done by David Lapham. With art by Chris Spruce. You have him flying through, and like I love the artwork here. It's so awesome. Art does an amazing job of like flying around. Eventually, by the next issue here, by issue 8, it's written, drawn, and lettered by Kyle Baker. By the way, I think she works there in the movie too. I think it was. Yes, come on. They call this episode 17 of the Butchie Saves Betty. It's like a movie production. This one. It's basically about the dog. And then we have History List, written by Matt Wagner, art by Ernie Cantine. Yep, it is more fun Rocketeer stuff. Him working with like flashes of him fighting other people. We have a future where we have more people on rockets. And then we have issue number 10, War Hero, written by Louis Simonson, art by Walt Simonson. And basically, he gets arguing with his girlfriend Betty, and he flies on a plane. It's really quick stories here. And then he meets up with FDR, and issue 11 is written by Dana Mandel, art and color by Jay Bone. Really interesting artwork here. Basically, it's like Betty, like her house. Paris and Jenna with Rocketeer, and he's like running late. Wild shenanigans. So here, like even him going to an alien planet, which has also got a beard too. Then he eventually leaves, and before I was like, Betty, he's a baby doll, and he gets punched by her. The final issue was written and drawn by John Byrne, and John Byrne does the art colors. Yep, and he's basically just, and of course he catches Betty with another guy. Of course, named Seamus. He gets jealous. He goes to DC. Actually, this goes to the World's. I think this is supposed to be the World's Fair. Yeah, the World's Fair in 1939. He basically stops the plane and stops Seamus from acting like an idiot. And eventually he gets Iron Knighthood by the Queen. And that's it. Really good stuff here. Loved it. Give it a 10 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, I left my area convention to my former students to explore dungeon depths. Okay, next video. Bye.